Have I gone too far? The answer is usually yes, you have.
Are we all still correct? Yeah. What drew you to Aquaman, to this role?
James Wan drew me to Aquaman. Yeah. Pretty cut and dry.
Cut and dry.
And I think there's a lot of people. There's a lot of actors out there. There's a lot of people who would give very interesting performances to Orm, and I'm thrilled when James calls, because I know he's gonna bring the best out of me and push me to my limits. Because I think as an actor, all you really want is to feel comfortable in your surroundings when you're doing things that are maybe outside of your comfort zone, whether it's a physical scene, an emotional scene, or a melodramatic scene. You want to feel like, is this too much? Have I gone too far? The answer is usually yes, you have.
Are we all still correct? Yeah.
Are you sure? Does this work? It was a lot of that, but I know he's just got great. He's always up for pushing me even further.
The time has come for Atlantis to rise again.
We must stop him.
And how do you propose we do that?
By retrieving this.
I already got one of those.
Yeah, so Orm he's interesting. He's complex in that there were multiple times during the movie where I was like, he has some points.
Yeah.
He's not.
He has many points.
Yeah, he's not. He may be the villain, but he's not wrong.
No.
Are there what parts of him did you find yourself maybe identifying with, or really able to latch onto as a character?
Sure. I very simply, his disgust and distaste for the surface world destroying his oceans. That to me was something that was very understandable. So once you get in behind him, and once you sort of see, oh yeah, we destroy his oceans. I mean, maybe him going about it the way he does isn't the most respectable way to the nonviolent. He's very easy to sympathize with, I think.
I think very, absolutely. There is to him and to that character, this thing of you do sympathize with him and feel bad for him. Do you think?
Sure.
Clearly doesn't feel like Orm's story is done.
Right. Yeah, right. And I think because he's related to Aquaman, because they're half-brothers, because they share the same mother, and you see what a force she is. So she's really the combining force there, and I think she gives him the permission, without giving too much away, of maybe not lightening up is the wrong word, but he has a heart in there, a hardened heart, but he has a heart in there. So I'd be curious to see what if anything they have in store for young Orm.
The war is coming to the surface. You are not going to win this.
Billions will die unless you help us.
What drew you to Aquaman? Did you have a background with the comics before the project, or?
I wouldn't lie. He wasn't a character I grew up reading.
Sure.
I did read comic books, but of course I know of him. It's a very famous comic book character and very iconic. But ultimately, what drew me to this project is it's just the chance and the opportunity to do a superhero character that's never really been done before.
Yeah.
And so that was exciting for me to do something a bit different. And then the other factor was the opportunity to create just a visually striking world that we've never seen before. The underwater world, the different kingdoms, and all of that. And I just felt like. I thought that would be fun to kind of dive into.
Yeah, that is leads into my next question. Mm-hmm. Watching it does feel like we're on planet Earth, but this is very much another world. At times it felt like another planet. Did you draw on sci-fi, fantasy to kind of create that?
Yeah, I drew from comic books. That is the first and foremost sort of platform of inspiration. 70 years worth of amazing treasure trove of source material to pull from.
Yeah.
And that's what the comic books were. They were science fiction, fantasy, and then they would go on these sort of amazing sort of high sea sort of adventures, and that's where the inspiration came from. And I really wanted to lean into the more fantastical side of it. But as you pointed out, what I love about it is, as fantastical as it is, it takes place on Earth.
Yeah.
It's not in another dimension or in outer space. It's here on our very planet, and I love the idea that maybe deep down, there's a whole civilization of incredible creatures and people that we've never been privy to.
In this trident resides the power of Atlantis. In the wrong hands, it would bring destruction. But in the hands of the true heir, it would unite above and below.
When you watch science fiction, when you watch, it kind of begs the question, like, could this exist? And watching Aquaman, there are parts where you're like, oh my God, could this?
I want the audience to watching and you know, have that wish fulfillment of I wish this really existed for real.
Yeah.
It would be amazing if this actually exists for real down there someplace. And that was what I kind of really wanted to lean into, the wish fulfillment aspect of the film.
Speaking of wish fulfillment, let's say we're getting an Aquaman 2. Can you tell? Can you, like, where is there anything that you would want to see? Like, what do you envision being next for these characters?
You know, this is what I'll say about that. I'm highly superstitious, and I don't kind of talk about any other sort of like sequels or stories or whatever before this one's even out yet.
Yep. More than fair.